for the show, and usually the script is towards creatives, but having a business mind as well as a creative mind like yours, it's hard to like, oh, what series of questions do I ask him? Like, you know what? It's not what you have, it's what you think you have. So it's
Okay.
like you can have the, let's say, the watch or the car, but it's like if you think that it's like I have a great life, I have great health.
Well, you know what I tell people? Success is defined by the individual, not by society. So everybody, you ask somebody what their definition of success is, it's always going to be a different answer. For some people, it's materialistic. For some people, it's time. For some people, it's other things, health. You know, some people they're just like, I don't care what I have. I'm successful because I have amazing health and a great family that loves me. You know, so everybody's answer is going to be different.
Did you have a great family? Because going back to it, like,
I grew up. I grew up in a broken home. You know, I didn't have. You know, my mother wasn't around much. My father wasn't around much. He was working, and I had my grandparents, and but I found myself on the streets because I didn't have any. That I mean, you know, you. It's so funny the way it works. Even as you get older, you tend to surround yourself around people that share similarity with you. But that's not how you grow. That's how you stay stagnant. Because if they're at the same level of you, that you are, then how are you growing? And if you're not in a comfortable situation as far as where you are in life, why are you around those people? Regardless of how you feel about them and so forth, it's about elevating yourself, you know, and like I mentioned earlier, unlocking your potential. You know, when I'm looking to hire somebody, I'm not looking for somebody that is good at what they do now. I want to see where they're going to take the company, what they're going to become. You understand? Because if they're satisfied with where they are at the moment, they're not looking to grow. I'm looking to grow. I'm looking to get huge. I want to get as big as I possibly could get. That's why I work so hard. You know, I know where I want to be. I know where I want to go. I know the direction I'm going in. You know, so I mean, you know, going back to the question you asked, you know, if I had family, no, I was on the streets because those are the people that I related to, because they were on the streets too, and we were up to no good. And we had a lot of things in common. So they became like a family to me. But it took a turn. It wasn't good, you know. I mean, it led to drugs, problems, issues, you know. I mean, I was in a bad point in my life. I couldn't, to them and to the people that were in that type of lifestyle, I mean, we're talking about when I was a teenager, you know. I would go in normal society, like, you know, like a restaurant and stuff like that, and people would look because of how I was dressed and things like that. You know what I mean?
appearance.
My family's right. Appearance. My family was embarrassed. They didn't even want to, you know, I remember there were times where they had, you know, relatives come in and they were so embarrassed. They didn't even want me to show up to some of the dinners. They were embarrassed, you know, and looking back, I don't blame them. That was from not having any guidance, anything. I mean, I was just wandering, just what I thought was living it up, but you know, it was bad, man, real bad.
So you started a music label.
Yeah, that's fast forwarding.
That's
I mean, I
fast
got into
forwarding.
boxing.
But how
I
did
got
you?
into
But
boxing.
but
How I got
did you?
out of that is I got into boxing. Boxing. I always say this, and I'm gonna continue to say boxing saved my life. So
Were you a Rocky fan?
yes, I like boxing. It's a movie.
Yeah, I
though.
know,
I
but
mean,
back then it must have been huge. What inspired you to get into boxing?
Well, my father was a boxer, and he would always bring it up to me every single time that he picked me up from somewhere that he had to pick me up from, whether it was a friend's house, the police station, school, you know, wherever. And he'd always be like, listen, you need to get in the gym. You need to do something to get your mind out of where you are right now because you're not going in a good direction. He was even embarrassed of me. I mean, you know, so.
But he cared.
He cared. My family cared. They just didn't know what to do. I mean, when you're faced with something for the first time and not ever experiencing it, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to react. And he would always mention to me about the gym and everything. So then I came to him one day and I was just like, all right, let's see what it's all about. He took me to the gym and I fell in love with the sport. And then from there, I got more into the entertainment industry. You know, I was doing club promotions at the time, and met different types of celebrities. I would be the guy to go out there and go up to the celebrity and not get their autograph, not take pictures with them. I mean, that came with it, but I wanted to get their contact information. I wanted to say, hey, I want to keep in contact with you. I want to get to know the people you know. You know, I want to be around the people you're around. Listen, I'm getting ready. At that time, I was getting ready to turn pro. So I'd be like, hey, I'm getting ready to turn pro. Maybe, you know, we could work out like some sponsorship or whatever. You know, I'll put your name on my trunks, or I'll wear, you know, whatever. Like, I just want to be around who you're around. And they loved that. They loved the fact that I was a boxer. They loved the fact that I was out there and I wasn't trying to get their autograph. I wasn't trying to get a music deal or have them listen to my CD. I was out there trying to network, man. And I had so many I have so many contacts. I built so many relationships like that. And then I started the record company in 2010. Just something that just came up. I now an old friend. I met a guy. He brought up the idea, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I have a background in music. When I was younger, I played 5 instruments all by ear before I learned how to read music. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I started just diving into books and started reading and started learning and started to talk to all the people that I met, and started learning from them and asking a lot of questions and everything. And one thing led to another, and the record company turned into something, and that was that.
So adversity was your education.
Yeah.
You didn't go to school for music.
Well, I learned a lot. I learned more than somebody would know in school within a year, because I just dove into books, which is what you do in school. I mean, you dive into books, you know, but then I was learning from people that were doing it. So I started building relationships. Like, I had relationships with all the big labels, you know, higher up and lower down. I mean, I was just talking to everybody, getting to know everything about the business and all of that. I just dove in it. In a way, I mastered, you know, a level every single time, and that's why I said it was better than school. But there was a lot of discipline there. Like, I would be literally up late at night studying. I would test myself. I had my own school.
That's dope. I like that. If I graduate from my own test, then I'll reward myself.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I would literally be up writing stuff down, and then I'd say, okay, I'm going to go back and see if I know this. And I'm going to go back and see if I know this. My wife at the time, I tell her, okay, you know what? Test me on this. Test me on that. You know, this is what I have going on. This and this and that. You know, so it was constant learning, constant. It's not where I just jumped into something, said, hey, I know what I'm doing, and great. No, I've always been, you know, the type where, hey, you know so much, let me learn from you.
And
I've never been afraid I've never been afraid to ask. I mean, I'll go up to somebody and just be like, hey, what do you do? This is what I do. What do you do? I want to learn from you. You're doing great. I want to be great. What do you do? How do you do it? How do you do this? How do you do that?
Is there a better way to ask that?
Just ask.
No, okay.
Just ask.
No, that's.
I see somebody successful. Listen, I go up to. Look, I meet a billionaire. I go up to him. I'm like, look, I was with 3 billionaires. I've met billionaires. I ask them questions. I don't get intimidated or anything like that. Hey, what are you doing? I want to do what you're doing because I want to get to where you're at. So what are you doing? How do you do it? Can we stay in contact? You don't want to give me your number? No problem. Give me your email. We'll be pen pals. Add me on LinkedIn. I'll add you on LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Connect with me on Facebook. Whatever form of contact we could be in we could stay in touch. Just so I can ask you simple questions. You could just put yes or no. Let's start there.
A mentor.
Simple.
Now, did they give you any applicable advice?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Ask
and you shall receive.
All right. What are some good questions to ask someone who has reached a higher level of success that you want to attain?
Whatever question, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So, I mean, I can't answer that because everybody has different questions and everybody has a different way of learning and a different level of knowledge that they're set in. So, I can't answer that. I can say there's no such thing as a stupid question, because whatever you don't know, somebody else does. and vice versa. There's ways where, I mean, I've inspired people that are in better positions than me, and me not even realizing it, them just telling me, hey, listen, you inspire me. Really? You're so much farther along than me. No, you inspire me. And it's just like, wow, okay. But that's just the level of that they're trying to achieve, where they don't feel like they've reached, again,
Potential.
their potential. They're capped.
They think that they're capped, or they think that they're limited, and they've been running the wheel for so long that they need someone outside to look in and be like, look, you can do this a lot better, and you can be a lot more efficient. Just don't give up. You've been doing a great job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The problem is when people close that. That's the problem. They close that door. I made it. I'm here. I'm there. Okay. I'll come across businesses. We've been doing this for 25 years. Okay. And so you mean to tell me there's no possible way that you could get any bigger from where you're at? Because I've never heard of you. I've never heard of you.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of other
Competitors.
brands and competitors and stuff, but I never heard of you. But you've been doing this for 25 years. I said this the other day, and I'll say it again. Uber, in 5 years, they were billionaires. In 5 years, they're the fastest growing company in history. And then you have some companies out there that have been doing this for that amount of time, and their arrogance has stopped them from being as big as they can be. Because every business has the potential that it can reach. But the problem is the people within the business think small or close the door, and they stop it. So you just stopped yourself from growing to be big because you think you've made it. Why do you think you've made it? Because you're comparing yourself to other people, not to your potential. I don't compare myself to other people. I look at what they do and I try to outdo them. I did it in the gym. I do it in every aspect of my life. If I see somebody working 17 hours, I want to work 18. I want to work 17 and a half. I want to, and as long as it's productive.
Yeah.
I want to, there's also stupidity. Okay. Okay. But
there's different levels of production, and how people produce and execute is different. So, depending on what kind of field or that you're in, so let's say the creative field, there's a lot of mental hula hoops and jumping jacks and theatrics that you have to go through your head. I'm creating a story, and then I have to add sounds to it. It has to be cohesive. It needs to, tell and illustrate the point and the message of the company or of the event. So there's a lot of mental things. I can't do that for 18 hours, or I can't do that for 8 hours, because I'm condensing so much of what I can do into this project that sometimes you need breaks. Like Rick Rubin, the owner of Def Jam.
Yes.
He's mindset. I would lay back, hear it, I love it or I don't love it.
Right.
I wish I had that mentality. I was sleeping edit, it's good, not good. And
he has the experience also to be able to use that judgment. I like doing interviews. I like interviewing people when I'm looking to hire somebody, because I know what I'm looking for. Nobody has. There are people that have the ability, but it's also, like I told you earlier, that nobody's gonna have the passion like you because it's yours. Okay, I also understand that, but I also know what to look for because I have the experience. I know what to look for. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know what you're good at. I know what's not. And I could just know just by having a conversation. Same way that I could walk in a business, and in less than 5 minutes, I already know just by looking. I could walk into the business, into somebody's office, and as I'm walking to their office, I'm looking around and I'm already noticing things that are wrong, things that could be improved. And that just comes with experience. And see, this is a term that's used very loosely. And the thing is, experience is the amount of time you've been doing something. Doesn't necessarily means you've been doing great at it or bad at it. It's just the amount of time. You look up the definition. Experience is the amount of time that somebody's been doing something. The amount of years you've been doing it. The amount of months you've been doing it. The amount of days you've been doing it. So, when you're more familiar with something, it becomes, okay, I've seen this, I've seen that, I've seen this. Okay. And that's where I'm coming from. I have the experience in knowing what to look for, knowing who can do what. And I have experience being around billionaires. I have experience being around smaller people as far as financially. Okay, I've been
The spectrum.
Man, I was broke. I was dead broke when I was a kid. I didn't grow up wealthy and with a middle class family. We were struggling. So I've seen both sides. I see people that have it and that are doing great and they're happy. And I already lived the life that I lived, and I never want to go back to that, which is another thing that drives me. You know, for some people, we talked about success. I'll bring that up again. For some people, success is other things. For me, success is time. For me, success is having so much money that's not going to be a concern for me.
To do the things I want to do.
To help people, to do things I want to do. More money you make, more people you can help. The bigger you become, the more people you can help. The more you can do, the more people know you.
So it's not more money, more problems. It's more money, more opportunities.
Of course, you're gonna have more problems,
Yeah.
but
The problems
that's
are...
what the money's there for, to solve them. More money, more problems.
But you have the money
But
to
now
solve the problem.
now you have the ability to be able to solve the problem. So what's the problem? There is none. Come on.
So I hope you guys love this video and the videos that I have been producing.
Let's go.
I love the people, I love the guests. If there's any feedback that you would like to give me, please let me know in the comments below.
Yes.
If you can please subscribe. If there's any way that I can improve on it, let me know. I would be glad to hear it. And I also want to know what's on your mind. This is an ongoing conversation.
Let's go.
I want to, understand you guys more. I want to provide more value, more content for you.
Yep.
So if there's anything that I can do, just please let me know. I'll gladly help out to the best of my abilities to provide you this content.
You're crushing it, bro. Let's go.